What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we've got quite a few topics we're going to covering the XFL. So if you're a first-time viewer, hey, I'm glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching more videos, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. Now, I talked earlier in a video about a week or so ago about how I'm going to be making some changes to the channel, and one of the changes is that I'm going to start to incorporate the comments into the videos. So if you leave me some great comments with some great content and you guys are really adding to the discussion around the videos, I'm going to start featuring you guys in these videos, featuring your comments and giving you guys a shout out. So keep bringing those comments, keep bringing that great content. Another thing with comments is I've been asking you guys to leave me suggestions down in the comment section of what videos you would like to see or what topics you would like to see covered. And so I'm also going to be giving a shout out to those people who give me some great video ideas when I do those videos. So please, guys, leave me some comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And also give me any type of suggestions that you have. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and let's get into the content for today. So to start things off, we know what date the supplemental draft is going to be. It's going to be November 22nd. Kind of like I said, it's going to be the week before Thanksgiving, and I figure they're trying to get everything done before that holiday weekend and kind of get the whole roster situation finalized before they start moving into camps and things of that nature. So that's pretty cool. We didn't learn any real information on exactly how they're going to do it, if they're going to, put it out on any type of media, if you're going to be able to follow it, what all they're doing with it. We really have no details. I would imagine today being the 11th that we're probably going to get some information about that sometime this week. So definitely, kind of keep your eyes peeled and stay focused, on that and look back to the channel because we'll probably get more information this week. All right, now, to give a disclaimer before we go on any further, I am not making any political stands. I'm not saying anything political. This is not political at all. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I think that it's pretty cool that the President of the United States of America is tweeting out about the XFL. That is just, it's cool. If you missed it this week, President Trump kind of retweeted a tweet that Vince made and, put in there, "Good luck, Vince. This will be great." I think that it's pretty awesome that the President of the United States is acknowledging your league and kind of putting it out there. Granted, putting your political, stances aside, just looking at it that the president is acknowledging the XFL, I think that that's a pretty cool thing, and I think that that's pretty neat. And I think the president agrees with every one of us that it's going to be that the league is going to be successful and that the first season definitely is going to be great, and we're going to have some great football with that. All right, now let's move on. And this was an interesting thing to me, which I thought was pretty cool. So, if you paid attention to the draft, we've actually not only had guys quit the XFL, which have only been a handful. I've really only seen about 3 guys, through, kind of looking at different articles and things like that have decided not to play in the XFL. But there's actually another group of guys who have gotten some neat opportunities. So we've got about a dozen or so players that are actually signed on to practice squads. So after they got drafted, these guys have now been signed on to practice squads. So I guess they're like dual football citizens or something like that. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. But pretty much they're like living in 2 different worlds to where they're still signed to play on and do the XFL season, but right now, because the NFL season's going on and that the two don't collide and clash, they're actually being able to get on these practice squads and sign to these practice squads and be there and be available for these NFL teams and actually make money and then go and play in the XFL as well. So I think that is really cool. And, I haven't really seen a whole lot of information on this, but it is pretty cool because you see these guys are signed to these NFL teams, and then you also see them still on the rosters on the XFL website and for their teams and things like that. So I just think that that's just a really neat thing, and it definitely shows that the XFL is really wanting their guys have opportunities to play and to do that, but again, also holding them to their commitments. And I think that that's a great place to stand, and I think that that's a great stance to have, with that. And it's kind of cool to see that we've got these guys who the NFL still are looking at and wanting to, have and to get, but who are also XFL players. So I found that was a neat thing in that, and I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, now we're going to go ahead. We're going to get to our last little bit of our video today. And this one comes from, give a shout out to XFL Fan Zone with that and providing this topic for us today. And he was kind of wondering, my thoughts on where the championship game should be played. So I'm going to give you kind of my top 5 of places where I think that that they should play the XFL championship game. Now, granted, this has nothing to do on where actually they're going to play it, how they're going to play it, how the landscape of anything is. This is just really my thoughts, what I think, and what I want. So those are really the bearings on it. So there's really not a whole lot of metrics into play here. I really didn't do a whole lot of research into, what type of markets they can get to, what stadium would cost them what, and this and that. I'm just kind of realistically looking at it and what I think would be cool. And so because of that, I've kind of put together a little list. And starting out with my number 5 stadium would be the AT&T Stadium in Dallas. And actually, this would probably be my number 1 if I actually think that they could get into the building. I think that there's 2 things for them right now. I think that the building for them is just probably not cost effective at all. I don't think that this is something that they could possibly get into, but it is just a really cool stadium. All the way around, the fan experience in that place is just off the charts. There really is no other place like it. And this place, they can hold 80,000 people, which I think is just, it might be too big for the XFL Championship, especially for this year. And so that's like my pie in the sky, big dreams, dreaming big, would love to have that place. So I gave them my number 5 spot just because I thought that it was just a little bit unrealistic. Okay, let's move to the number 4. Number 4 place would be the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I know that probably the people in San Antonio might be a little bitter, but people in San Antonio, we already know, they love football. So bringing the XFL Championship there I think would be huge. I think you would get some people from the local area. You get a lot of, people in Texas love football, so you get a lot of people from Texas there with it. I think that San Antonio is a cool place. 65,000, capacity is a decent capacity. I don't know if they could fill the place with that, but just because of the landscape in San Antonio, I think that would be kind of a neat place for the players to be able to go. That's not a home game or a home field for one of the XFL teams. All right, so my number 3 place would be SDCCU Stadium, and this would be the stadium there in San Diego. This is where the Aztecs play, and now, granted, this place holds just a little bit more, around 71,000 people. And kind of a lot of the idea with it is that people in San Diego, they like their football and they like football, and right now they don't really have a team. So to have more football there in San Diego, I think would be fun, and I think that the people would like it there, and I think it would be a nice place for the players to go. Kind of a nice reward to get them there for kind of that weekend and maybe be able to do a few other things, enjoy the weather, enjoy kind of everything that San Diego has to offer. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a cool, huge thing for them there. Now, moving to my second place would be the Hard Rock Stadium there in Miami that holds about 65,000 people, and I think that it would just be fun. I think Miami would be a great place to let the players go, and kind of a nice reward for them. Miami is nice. There's tons of things to do there in Miami. I think that it'd be a great place for them. I think it'd be a great place to have your inaugural championship, especially with all the history that's there with that stadium, with all the different things that have happened there throughout the years, and to have, you know, your inaugural championship game played there, I think would be a really neat thing, and I think it would be a really neat environment for you know, the players all the way around. Like I said, you know, tropical area, you know, can really the players can go down there and they could probably vacation while they're down there. They can take their families down there, really make it a whole family experience, and you know, play some football and, you know, enjoy some sun and stuff while they're down there. So kind of rewarding the players again. Now, here's my honorable mention, and this kind of goes along the same kind of lines as the Hard Rock Stadium, and this one would be the FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida. It's, you know, kind of in the Palm Beach area. It only holds 30,000 people, which I think would actually be a really good stadium. I think that they could pack the stadium, you know, for that. It's where they, you know, they hold the bowl game there. It's a great area. Again, you know, I think that the whole thing of the whole vacationing in that aspect, you have that there. It's a little bit smaller stadium to where I think that they can get in, and I really do think that they could probably sell that out. It's a tropical area. You know, there all these teams. It's not a home game for them. Now, granted, you got Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's not anywhere close to Boca. So, you know, I think that would be a good honorable mention and a really good place for them to put it. So I just kind of wanted to mention that one right before we got to the first one. And my first one, and this is my favorite pick. If you remember back in the day, the Pro Bowl used to be played at the same place every year, and it was played at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. I think that would be a great place to play. I think that it would be awesome for the players. Everybody would have to travel. I think it would be a great experience for them, you know, to wrap them kind of all up into that, again, another tropical place, a place where they can go, they can take their families, you know, everybody can just really enjoy that experience and get to experience kind of something that they probably don't get to see, you know, usually or maybe even ever. And so, you know, just kind of another way to reward these players. And it's a 50,000 seat, 50,000 person capacity stadium, to where I think that they could definitely fill up most of that place. Now, granted, I know traveling there's going to be a lot of traveling expense, but I think it's such a neat place that I think that you would be surprised at, you know, how well they could fill that space, especially if the XFL comes off and it's a really good product and people are really watching and enjoy it. I think people will fly out there to go to experience that, especially when you're in the Northeast and, you know, you've been bearing down in this cold weather and you just want to get out of it for some fun. I think that would definitely be a really nice place to go. So let's go ahead and let's recap it. So my number 5 was AT&T Stadium in Dallas. My number 4 was Alamo Dome there in San Antonio, Texas. SCCU Stadium, number 3 in San Diego. Number 2, I had the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Probably, like I said, my honorable mention and the one that I think that they should really look at financially wise would be FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida. And my number 1 pick, if I could have it, would be Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. All right, guys. Hey, that's what I think. The question is, what do you think? Please let me know down in the comment section. Leave some comments. And I'd love to hear from you guys. All right. Well, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.